We've been told the same story for 20 years. Guthix woke up with the world burning in the God Wars. He kicked the gods out of Gielinor, closed the door, and threw away the key. The Edicts of Guthix, the ultimate solution to keep the gods out forever, were erected as a foolproof plan. But if the edicts are so effective, then why does it feel like the world is being meddled with? Almost as if it was under some kind of divine influence. Today we're cracking open the lore that Jagex has been drip feeding us for years. The gods never truly left Gielinor. They just learned how to play by different rules. Alright, let's establish the rulebook. The Edicts of Guthix aren't some physical wall in the sky, nor is it a force field that fries the gods the moment they get too close. Think of them more like a magical reinforcement, an electric fence that only works against the divine. These edicts seem to be able to detect a god's essence and repel it. But here's the thing, there seems to be a slight technicality. The edicts don't appear to be able to detect the god's influence. Let me give you the cleanest example, Nex. One of Zaros' most powerful weapons of war, a nihil from Frenesque, the same place the Mahjarrat came from, who somehow possesses physical traits of the Icene, demons, aviancies, and vampires, all at once. She's considered the ultimate killing machine. After Zaros' betrayal in the Second Age, Nex led a Zarosian army to secure the area around the Mahjarrat ritual site. Her conquest was victorious, and each battle she gained more and more power, turning into the ultimate unstoppable force. So Saradomin's forces did the only thing they could. They lured her into a trap, a massive icy cavern. And with that, they enchanted Nex and her entire army into a frozen slumber. Then they built the God Wars dungeon around her, what they called the Temple of Lost Ancients. Years later, the God Sword battle broke out at that very temple. Aviancies transporting the blade got ambushed by demons, and then the reinforcements arrived. The war continued to escalate, and where was Nex? Well, still frozen deep in that icy cave, locked away by Saradominist magic. Then Guthix woke up and enacted the edicts. The gods were banished, and the wars we all thought to be endless finally ended. But Nex stayed trapped and frozen, because here's the thing, although extremely powerful, she's not technically a god. To even reach Nex, you need to collect pieces of the frozen key from all four generals, Grador, Krill, Ziliana, and Kriara. The very armies that once fought each other temporarily had to align to seal her away a second time. And that second sealing? Well, it only happened because a Mahjarrat named Sliske tricked a group of Saradominist priests into performing a ritual. They thought they were waking Guthix to end the God Wars. Instead, they freed Nex. Even weakened from her long sleep, she tore through the God Wars armies. All four factions had to work together just to drive her back into the prison, and even then, they couldn't fully restore the magical protections. So let me be clear, Nex has been locked in that prison through the entire Third Age, through Guthix's reign, through the edicts. She never left, and her powers never faded. Because she's not technically a god, the edicts don't work against her. Neither does the collateral of the gods, the generals, the weapons, the artifacts, the quote-unquote leftovers of the wars. They are not official gods, but they are channeling their residual orders and their divine will of past ages. Every time you wield Torva armor or a Zarite crossbow, you are essentially using a piece of Zaros, a being that's supposed to be gone. The way I see it, the edicts didn't truly erase the gods of the world. They just forced them to get a little more creative. So, if the gods can't touch Gielinor, who's been moving the pieces? Meet the Mahjarrat, the single greatest loophole in the Edicts of Guthix. They're from a dying realm known as Frenesque, the same one that Nex is from. They were brought here in the Second Age by Icthlarin and a mascot as weapons in the Caridian-Zarosian War. Originally, they served Icthlarin. They were called the Stern Judges, and they were unstoppable. They pushed back the Zarosian Empire and temporarily secured peace. Then one of them defected and switched sides, convincing the others to follow. Zaros understood their nature. He offered them glory, power, purpose, and the Mahjarrat felt that more deeply than any oath to Ictharin. It took the god Tumakin detonating his own divine essence to drive the Zerosian forces back. That's how powerful the Mahjarrat made them. But centuries later, dissatisfaction grew again. This time, a Mahjarrat general named Zamorak, yep, that Zamorak, started plotting a rebellion. Zamorak rallied his allies, names you've probably heard before, Haziel and Zemarigal. And when he got his hands on the Staff of Armadil, he stabbed Zaros, ascending to godhood, and shattered the Zerosian Empire. The god wars that followed? The Mahjarrat were right in the middle of it, with some fighting for Zamorak, while others stayed loyal to Zaros. Now let's bring this back to you. Year 169 of the 5th Age. A charming lone adventurer starts releasing these Mahjarrat from their prisons. You free Azanadra from the ancient pyramid, and you break Enakra's hold over Akthanikos. Being the eager adventurer you are, you help Haziel's cult resurrect him, or stop them, depending on your choices. But remember, every time you complete a quest for Azanadra, every time you interact with Sliske's schemes, every time you think you're saving the world, I promise you are not the hero you think you are. You are a pawn in the game of the gods, acting out their will in your mortal body to circumvent the edicts. I really want you to think about it for a moment. Zemarigal tried to conquer Varrock twice, once in the 4th Age, where he was ultimately stopped by the hero Arav. Then again in the 5th Age, using Arav's own reanimated corpse as a slave. Lucian launched his own invasion of Varrock with undead forces in year 154. When that failed, he sent you, a naive adventurer, into the Temple of Ikov to retrieve the Staff of Armadil for him. And depending on your choices, you either handed it right to him, or struck him down with the Guardians of Armadil. Either way, he got what he wanted eventually. The Mahjarrat are almost acting like the lawyers of the divine world. They're finding every clause, every exemption, every technicality in Guthix's seemingly foolproof way to keep the gods out. And the loophole they found is working. After all, the edicts exist to stop the gods entering Gielinor. They say nothing about the gods using us, the player, to rebuild their empires from the inside. Now let's fast forward to modern times. If you've been paying attention to more recent updates, you've noticed something a little bit different. The timeline is accelerating. Desert Treasure 2 introduced us to 4 entities of immense power, including the Whisperer, Duke Succulus, Vardorvis, and Perseria. Every single one of them high-ranking Zerosian personnel, each entrusted with a medallion, which is the key to opening the ancient vault, where the powerful Elder Horn is sealed. The Whisperer, who was ordered by Sliske to experiment with a Blackstone totem in Lasar, and corrupted the entire Undercity, ultimately ends up submerged beneath the cathedral for thousands of years. Duke Succulus, a respected commander of Zaros' 6th Legion, and after the betrayal, he believed he was destined to restore the Empire, and eventually he consumed everyone in the Garrock Asylum to absorb their essence. 2 Mahjarrat sealed the prison shut, leaving him to slumber for millennia. Vardorvis, who we all knew as the Empire's executioner, a vampire who pursued a Saradominus leader all the way to Zaya, only to be infected by the Strangler parasite. This parasite kept his body moving for thousands of years. And Perseria, an admiral of the fleet, after Zerosian intelligence discovered the Stone of Jas hidden beneath the ocean, she led a naval assault on the Temple of the Eye. Her plan was to teleport reinforcements directly into the temple. However, the stone's presence warped her spell. Instead of reinforcements, she opened a rift to the Scar, a deadly part of abyssal space. Her entire fleet was swallowed, including her ship. And so, the Leviathan, an ancient sea creature of colossal size from the Eastern Ocean, was dragged into the Scar alongside them. It's been there ever since, preying on the remnants of the Zerosian fleet, but now it guards Perseria's medallion. Fast forward to the 5th Age, You hunt down all 4 entities and take their medallions. You open the ancient vault, and the Mahjarrat Sliske steals the Elder Horn right from under you. Here's the uncomfortable truth. The artifacts left behind by the gods always end up being moved, stolen, or activated. The Stone of Jas has changed hands multiple times. The Elder Horn is in play. Every time one of these objects is used, the barrier thins. You're not really saving the world like you think you are. The gods aren't truly gone, but waiting and watching, strategizing even. Remember, every quest you complete or artifact you claim, you are just another piece of their cosmic chess game. Step by step, you are moving the clock closer to midnight, and you don't even know it. I do want to provide you with a piece of comfort. The edicts do work and the gods aren't coming back, but I guess they don't need to. Nex is still locked beneath the God Wars dungeon, a weapon waiting to be unleashed. The Mahjarrats are still walking freely, still manipulating, still rebuilding their master's empire, piece by piece. Sliske just stole the Elder Horn, the Stone of Jas keeps changing hands, the artifacts are not secure. So I wanted to ask you, which faction do you think is winning this cosmic Cold War? Who is really bringing us closer to midnight? The Zerosians rebuilding in the shadows, the Zamorakians sowing chaos, or are the Saradominists still in control? Personally, I think it's you, because you do have free will after all, right? If you want more deep dives like this, love old school RuneScape lore, or just enjoy hearing my soothing Australian accent, make sure you subscribe. I'll be back next week with another video. Thank you.